Hello, everyone. It's me, Destiny, Destiny the Great, and today is March 6th, and the year is 2026, where I am located in Southern California. It is 58. So, I am laying here freezing. I can see the sun peeking out of my blinds. Hopefully, we have a sunny day and it's not windy. Okay? I do not like the wind. I don't like any type of cold weather. Okay? I hope you guys are doing well and you have a great Friday. I know a lot of us look forward to Friday so we get to relax and maybe do some fun things over the weekend. So, I want to talk about a subject, and I don't feel this subject is discussed enough. And it's a touchy subject, but we need to make sure that we are protecting our children, all children. And when you see something, when you have a bad feeling, when you know something, you need to say something immediately. You treat people how you want to be treated. If you were in this situation, how would you like somebody to handle it? If this was your child, how would you like somebody to handle it? Okay, so we're going to discuss pedophiles. And pedophiles come all ages, all genders, all locations, all races. Doesn't matter if you have $2 to your name or $2 million to your name. Okay? And no one should be excluded. Meaning this person is a pedophile, but they get a pass, and this person is a pedophile. They don't get a pass. Nobody is getting a pass. Okay, so I have 3 children. I homeschool. I was homeschooling my kids before COVID. I like my kids at home with me in the house so I can protect them, so I can spend more time with them. And I feel that children learn more in a homeschool setting than at public school. You don't have to deal with a lot of stuff. Rude staff, rude students, rude mothers, rude fathers, guardians. You don't have to deal with school shooters, rapists, traffic, things that we do not tolerate, things that we are not okay with. Well, respectable people are not okay with this. You hear a lot of people trying to give excuses. So, at the time, my daughter was 16. She is now 18 years old, my oldest daughter. So, be very careful who you have around your children. This person came off to be a nice person. They didn't show any signs. They claimed to be some Muslim man, some godly man who was interested in generational wealth, building businesses, and that they weren't interested in hurting children, hurting anyone. They actually have a lot of children themselves. So his name is Ron Bernard. And you have to be careful with these people, especially people that come here from another state, another city. Why did they leave their city? Why are they here? So I learned after the fact that Ron was trying to groom my daughter. And he told her, don't tell your mom. So I have this person around my children that I have no idea that he behaves like this, had no idea that he was on the Megan's Law for raping a 16-year-old. And somebody could say, hey, I'm on the Megan's Law for peeing in public. Hey, I'm on the Megan's Law. I believe it's Megan's Law, Megan List. I might be saying it wrong. I'll have it in my description. They can say, hey, I have to register once a year because so-and-so lied on me. And you know what? That may be the case, but not in this case. I wasn't there when he raped the 16-year-old, but I believe it. After the things that my daughter said, it's fucking disgusting. And you can imagine how I feel. This is my daughter. Even if it was somebody else's daughter, I would feel the same way. I'm keeping my kids under me. Yes, they get to go out. Yes, they get to do stuff. Yes, they do very well in school. Yes, they get to shop, do all this kind of stuff. I'm keeping my kids near me who have never had a boyfriend, who have never had sex, who have never drank or smoked or done any drugs, under me, making sure they have a great life. And here this pedophile is grooming my daughter. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So he was showing my daughter text messages, detailed text messages about giving oral sex. Why would you be showing that to a 16-year-old and saying, don't show your mom? Then next we have him saying, you should go to the gym to get a bigger butt. Why are you saying that to a minor? I'm trying to not use a lot of cuss words, and I'm trying to get through this, oh my gosh. And then my daughter said he grabbed her hand, kissed her on the forehead, and said he was going to teach her how to drive. Never kissed any of my other kids on the forehead. He was asking to use my phone. And then you learn that he was sending photos to himself of my daughter in a bikini and put it in a trash can. What else was he doing? My daughter said he was hearting her photos on TikTok. And the whole situation is inappropriate. If you don't think this is grooming, oh my gosh, for you to not think this is grooming, there has to be something so wrong with you. What do you call it? I believe he's going to be 47 this year. He has children that range from maybe 4 to almost 30, male and female. And how would he like it if somebody did this to his kids? And when you think, oh, this person has daughters, he's not a rapist. He's not a pedophile. These people, these disgusting bottom of the barrel individuals have kids and they don't care. And I do not appreciate anything that has happened, to say the least. And I'm so glad that he didn't rape my daughter. And God doesn't like ugly. This person will never be successful in their life, no matter how much they put up a front on social media. They will never be anything. And I believe that people can change their life. But when it comes to a pedophile, once a pedophile, always a pedophile. I'm never sitting here thinking, hey, let me date this child. Let me rape this child. Let me assault this child. Never. And you know what? You shouldn't be dating anyone that's underage, but unfortunately, there's actually willing participants. There are willing participants that want to prostitute that are over the age of 18. There are people in this world that don't mind if you are seeing multiple women. So you need to find your kind, stick to your kind, and you never need to rape. Statutory rape. You never need to sexually assault anyone on this earth, no matter their age or gender. So this male is supposed to be doing business. He's supposed to be selling my merchandise. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Why are you showing your body, your little private, on social media? People can see the print through your clothes. You're supposed to be selling clothes. You're supposed to be promoting being a fitness instructor. And he's like, I'm doing that. No, you're not. And I'm like, you have your kids on your TikTok. Excuse me. I'm like, you have other kids on your TikTok. I mean, there's kids around the world. This is inappropriate. Nobody needs to see this stuff. So we have a Black man living in Hawthorne who is a registered sex offender, living in Hawthorne by multiple schools, but using his mom's address because he's not allowed to live by schools. And the last time I had checked, he didn't even register for 2025. And when I had looked him up last year, he had multiple charges for failing to register. And we need to really do our homework on the people that we have in our life, whether if it's just for business, romance. We can't judge a book by its cover. We can't listen to these people. A lot of people have zero credibility. And then we have people that are getting their records expunged. And it's like, I do not care. Once a pedophile, always a pedophile. And sex trafficking, being a pedophile, that should permanently be on your record. You should never be able to remove that. I don't care how old you were at the time. So we have this loser living off of his mother, living off of any female that he can, and I'm sure he has lots more victims. I've had some people tell me about other victims, but when you saw me doing business with this person, when you saw me doing anything with this person, and you know that I have girls, you should have let me know immediately. Because if I know something about somebody, I'm going to let them know. They don't even have to be my friend. I can pull them to the side. I could send them a message. I'm very respectful, and then say, hey, you might want to do your homework on this person because this, and that. And I come with facts. I don't have a lying problem, and I come with facts. I'm an honest person, and when I say something, No one has to believe me, but you have this person's name. You can do your homework. So you can use Google and you can use the Megan's Law, and Megan's Law will show you that this person is a registered sex offender. And it'll tell you other stuff that he testified against his co-defendant in a murder trial. He said the person murdered someone, and in his mind, he's a big time Crip, and then my kids told me he was telling them all these kind of stories. It's like, this is a grown man who lives in a fantasy world and is telling my kids, I used to work for the cartel, I have a yacht. My kids don't care about that. And it's like, why are you saying these things? The time that people put into lying and living in a fantasy world, they can actually further their education. They can start legit businesses. They can treat people correctly. Like, hey, instead of lying and telling people, hey, I lived in Canada for 6 years, go live in Canada for 6 years. But we all know that he can't do that. You can literally save your money, to purchase a yacht instead of lying and pretending. Like, the list just goes on and on and on. But even though this person threatened me, I'm always going to be very vocal about what I've experienced, what my children have experienced. We did not deserve that. And I am so thankful, thank God, that this person has been removed from our life. And when it comes to business, they will have to bring my business equipment to court, everything. Actually, I prefer the money. I didn't have the opportunity to get my money back, to get my business stuff, but I prefer the money. So if you are following this person on social media, I suggest you unfollow them. You can only purchase items from me. Don't purchase anything from them. That is my stuff. So, a lot of people, they use social media to seek new victims. Make sure that you guys are sharing this information with people I want to prevent this from happening to other people. If you have any questions, you are welcome to contact me and I will answer them. I'm an honest person. I am a strong woman. God doesn't like ugly. For every action, there is a reaction, and we need to get these people off the streets. We don't need pedophiles, anybody living their life incorrectly in any way. Anyone that is causing harm. God did not put anyone on this earth to cause harm to anyone. The whole situation is beyond disgusting. I try to make this recording without, to refrain from using cuss words. And, I'm beyond angry. That's an understatement. And, the mother knew that her son is a pedophile. She has another son in prison for raping a 12-year-old. And, I'm a black woman. She's a black woman. And even if we were two different races, when do you think you should tell somebody, hey, you shouldn't do business with my son. You shouldn't be around my son. Take your daughters and go because he loves teenagers. The whole family is just disgusting. The whole family is disgusting. God does not like ugly. And there are some things that I want to say that I'm not going to say. You already know how we feel about pedophiles and rapists. And none of my kids have a lying problem. My kids are very respectful. They are respectable human beings. They don't have behavior problems. They are honor roll students. Everyone knows my kids' manners are impeccable. They're gorgeous inside and out. So they say, oh, her daughter is lying. My daughter is not lying. And I wish I would have never met this individual. I wish I would have never had him in my space. They can't even do business or anything correctly. And I would love to go back in time to prevent my daughter from experiencing this horrible individual. Mister, you should go to the gym to get a bigger butt. Mister, show inappropriate text messages. Are you fucking kidding me?